Thanks for tuning in for Food and Wine Pairings with Football Predictions. As you know, we don't have any football right now, so we're looking at other sports and other topics. But today is one of my favorite Sundays of the entire year after Super Bowl Sunday. And today is Selection Sunday. And if you are not familiar with what Selection Sunday is, that is the day that the NCAA announces the 68 teams that will be participating in March Madness. I love March Madness. After football, college basketball is my favorite sport. So I am eagerly awaiting to see who is going to be selected. As you can see, I'm wearing my alma mater, Cal. I don't think the men's team will make it because they are 14 and 19. I had to write it down because I couldn't remember. But there's a good chance for the women's team to make it because they're 25 and 8. Now, I found out that the selection show for the men goes back to 1982, and for the women, it goes back to 1995. So usually on Selection Sunday, I clear my calendar, which I did today, so that way I can watch it and see who is going to actually be playing in the tournament. Sometimes I watch it alone, and sometimes I watch it with friends. Today, I'll be watching alone as some of my friends are having a party today, and I was invited to that, and I decided that I would much rather watch Selection Sunday. It starts at 3 p.m. Pacific for the men and 5 p.m. Pacific for the women. Okay. Fingers crossed that the women's team makes it in. And while I'm watching the game, I will be having a very enjoyable wine that is a great price point, for the quality. And it's also a wine that we don't talk about a lot because it's generally not my favorite grape. After Merlot, which is the one that we will never talk about because I hate Merlot. There, I said it. I just don't think it's good. I keep trying it all over the world in any place I can, and I have yet to find one that doesn't taste like wet raisins. If you know of a Merlot that does not taste like wet raisins, please let me know. I'm happy to go out and try it. I mean, it's one of the 5 noble grapes, so I just believe that there has to be somebody making it in a style that I like. I haven't found it yet. Now, tied for my second least favorite grape is Malbec and Chardonnay. And today we'll be having a Malbec because when I was out wine tasting, I had a Malbec that really surprised me. And I wanted to share it with you because it's from a place that I've talked about, but not a lot of people are familiar with, and that is the Sassoon Valley. Now, Sassoon Valley AVA being the name rights for this area of grapes. So if you see on a bottle, it'll say Napa or Sonoma or Calistoga. Those are AVAs. So there are certain things that you need to do to get licensure to have that naming right. So the Sassoon Valley AVA is 41 years old, and they've been making grapes in Sassoon Valley for hundreds of years. Many people are not aware of the fact that because Sassoon Valley is very close to Napa, we're talking about 10 miles. It's just around the mountain, just like a little hill. Sassoon has been growing grapes for Napa. So a lot of times you are buying a bottle of wine that says Napa, but some of the grapes in there are from Sassoon Valley. And the law allows that if you have a singular place like that, you only have to have 75% of the grapes from the location that is on the bottle. So that means the remaining 25% can come from any place and they don't have to be identified. So that was something that Sassoon, started doing in the 1900s and continues to do now. This area only has about 40 wineries, and when you go there, it's a very different experience because the tastings are generally inexpensive. The one I did for this wine was $15, and that was waived because I bought a bottle of wine. And this bottle of wine I bought was only $22. So it was a win-win all around. So let me tell you about the wine. Today's wine is Mangles Vineyards Malbec 2018. Now, I chose Mangles, one, because it's a small winery that I just really love. They're literally only open Friday through Sunday. They're not open during the week. They also have a female winemaker who was one of the founding members of this winery. Her and the 3-time great grandson of Klaus Mangles founded this winery together. So she's been here right from the start. And she's also a native to Sassoon Valley. So she went away to school at Fresno State. I was surprised to learn that Fresno State has winemaking as a degree. but she got a degree there from Fresno State. She worked as an intern in some wineries in St. Helena, also in New Zealand. And then prior to founding Mangles with Gary Mangles, she was the assistant winemaker at Winery X in Napa. So she's done a lot of moving around and had a lot of different experiences that really are reflected in the wine. Now, let's talk about the wine. This wine, if you look at it, as general, Malbec is generally very dark. And in the glass, it looks really dark. But if you were in the room here with me, you would see that it's actually not that dark. It's kind of a light ruby color. And when you put it on the side to look at the edge color is actually pink. So it is a little bit of a lighter style Malbec. And I think that was probably what the appeal was for me, in that it was not and is not like any other Malbec that I'd had before. So on the nose, it smells like grapes, which is a crazy thing to say about wine, considering it's made from grapes, but it smells like grapes. It also smells like chocolate and leather and a little bit of tobacco. Okay, on the tongue, it has a really nice plum jammy taste. It has really low tannins, which makes it a great choice for people who are looking for something other than Pinot Noir that's red, but not too tannic. It also is a little bit spicy. So when I say spicy, it's not overwhelming spicy. It's like black pepper is what that taste is. It is a great choice for red meats, and it also would be a great choice for a pork chop. Now, I will be having my wine today with a couple of beef tacos because, as you know, I'm going to be watching the tournament. So tacos makes total sense. Now, I cannot recommend this wine enough, and I cannot recommend enough you going out of your way and trying to get to Fairfield, to any of the wineries that are there. There's a lot of small wineries. There's often, when I'm there, I have had the luxury of talking to the winemaker just because they're pouring the wine. They're right there, so they can answer questions to you about anything that you have. Sassoon Valley has 2 annual events, and one of their big events is coming up in April, on April 26th, and it is called the Sassoon Valley Passport. It's either $56 or $65. I keep getting the price wrong, but all of the wineries that are in the area are participating, and you just go from place to place. You start at one location, they give you a glass and a wristband, and then you go to all of the wineries, they give you a map, and then you can have wine at all of the locations. And this is really a great opportunity to expose yourself to a lot of wines, a lot of winemakers, a lot of wine styles, because you'll get everything. I mean, when I was out yesterday, I also had some sparkling wine that Backroad Vines, which is another winemaker in Sassoon Valley, just started making. The lady said to me, they just started pouring it last month. So because of that, they were just passing it out for free. And it was actually pretty nice. So let's recap it, because I've said a lot and I gotta get in front of the TV. 1, go ahead and get this wine. It is Mangles Vineyards Malbec 2018. It is $22. It is worth every cent. It is super enjoyable. It is made by Gina Richmond, one of the founding members of Mangles Vineyard, and a local girl who's making wine back home. I'm going to be rooting for probably Cal women's team. They're probably got the best bet of getting in. I don't think the men's team can do it. It's hard to know. There are 68 teams that get in, but 31 conferences already have an automatic bid. So, and now that Cal is no longer in the Pac-10, that automatic bid is lost. Well, not that Cal was going to get it anyway. But get this wine. You will love it. Cheers.